Jeez. All right, today we are going to clean up these rails, just put a quick layer of paint on them, and then we're gonna hop over to the engine while that dries. And then in between that, I'm gonna clean up because this place is a freaking mess. Just gotta get in here, get all the surface rust off. Don't get too excited, boys. Promise you, this is not the pretty color. This is just a primer. Make sure this doesn't get shitty while we're doing other stuff. I've got this all placed on top of those stands. Just try not to knock the whole thing over when we go up. It's only 2 points. Makes me a little nervous, but I think we should be okay. Oh, come on. It's leaking coolant out the front. Thankfully, at this point, it's mostly water. Pulled the oil out of the engine, but I was smart enough or lucky enough to put this up on jack stands and give me enough room to be able to drop the oil out of here. So let's go ahead and get this out of the pan. I know for a fact it's a 14 mil. Always has been, always will. Well, might not always will. It always has been a 14. Okay. Make sure this is open. That would cause a bit of a hiccup. Just left closed. I'll do my best ramp impersonation, see if I can get out of here without getting any oil on my fingies. Not too bad. Look at that, actually. It's not on. You proud of me, Grant? Just got a little bit on my finger, my digit here. Oil is pretty black, but looks clean. Oh, jeez. I'm so strong. Look at that piece of rubber popped out. There shouldn't be too much left in there. I'll let that finish draining out. Look at how gross these suckers are. Definitely got some leakage in here. It's definitely where we thought it was. I know that the throw-up bearing has seen better days, so we'll definitely replace that. And then we're gonna go ahead and remove this flywheel and everything and replace it with a white bunny kit, which has been sitting on the shelf for a while. Here we go. Well, that's one way to remove it. Definitely got some heat scoring. Look at this. And to be 100% honest, yeah, we're running to the end of it, but there's still meat on this. Interesting. I mean, she's definitely seen some days. Had a lot of dust out of it, but... And this was a nice lightened flywheel. I don't think we're going to reuse this. The kit has one. This one's pretty scored up. The lightened part was nice, but... Cool. One step down. So this is an interesting find. I don't know how well you can see it, but the bearing is actually falling apart here. It's a piece of it. Yeah, definitely good that we're fixing this. Now we get to use the socket set that I bought specifically for this one tool. This little 6-point. It's a T55 for anybody that is planning on doing this kind of work. Ooh. Whoops. Yeah, we had a one knot torque. That's okay. It's been years and years. All right. And as you can see here, pretty obvious where our leak is coming from. So with these, it's a one piece with a, it's like almost like a housing. So we'll clean all this up, pull the housing off, replace that, and that should deal with the leak. And the trick here is there's RTV behind here. You don't want to score up the surface of the block, and you don't want to fuck with the crankshaft. So we're just gonna slowly try to get in there, little pick, get behind it. We don't really care about the actual housing because the whole thing gets replaced. So it is thick. Somebody really laid the RTV on the bottom here. You can kind of see it. All right, we'll just keep chipping away at it. Ouch. Ouch again. So we'll get this going with the smaller one. We can sneak the bigger one in there. I hate this. I don't like it. There we go. All right. There you have it. So as you can see, there's RTV all the way around. And to be honest, I'm surprised this was leaking. I mean, as we look up in here, the seal looks decent. It's just old. That's all it is. I mean, it's a 2003, so rubber's over 20 years old. All right, we'll replace this. Make it look nice. And there you have it, all cleaned up. And there's a couple little spots we'll gotta finish. I'll get the parts and RTV. This on, then we can start reassembling. That's cool. This will be the first new part to put on. This is what we get out of the kit. So it's a whole new piece and some gaskets. We'll put RTV on both the front and back of the gasket for both sides. You can see there's a nice groove here where our little plastic guy, our little rubber bit, sits in, but we still RTV it into place. And then when it all gets bolted down, it squishes in. So, and then we'll also put a little bit of grease on the inside here so we don't have any problems getting it on and off. So let's start by assembling this piece, and then we'll put gasket material on the other side. So as you can see, it's a bit messier than it looked last time. This was much more of a pain in the butt than I thought, but I learned some things that I can help you if you ever have to do this. So the biggest problem is after you align the two gaskets and put the initial silicone on,
the bottom gasket, which is this piece here, as you can see, it's pretty thick here. Well, it's even thicker when it comes out. So this gasket on the bottom needs to get compressed in the bottom. And the problem is, to get it in line, you're both sealing against the block and against the upper oil pan. So the trick I found that worked for me is I rocked it into place. So let me take the old one to show you what I mean. So I took this and went down to compress the gasket, push it forward, and then down onto the studs to get all that compression to happen. Obviously, there's silicone everywhere when you're doing this, and the gasket has a tendency to slip out, so you have to continue to work through it to get it to where you need it to be. But eventually I was able to do it off camera. Pretty pleased with the fact that I was able to do that without destroying the gasket. I was a little nervous I was going to destroy it. And then just for a little bit of security, I added a layer of silicone around the outside. So it's not pretty, but it should work and it should be sealed. So now we can move on. All right, well, that's pretty much everything we have time for today. Got a bunch done, but there's still a ton more in the pipeline. Next time, we'll get the clutch on, get the transspec on, swap headers, and probably paint the bay. And then after that, we can start worrying about some fun stuff, some last couple of pieces for maintenance. And the engine should be ready to go back in relatively soon. There's still a ton to do, but we're moving along. So thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.